Erasing the disabled from school photos. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I hope you're enjoying your Easter long weekend. Grab your hashtag not sponsored cheap coffee or your stein of coffee and let's talk about a newspaper article that recently appeared about, well, this is a good one. Parents asked if they want disabled children removed from a class photograph. Okay, now there's a few things to discuss about this, but before we do, let me put all my cards on the table. Now, I have a little boy. Well, we've got 7 children, and Edward is our little disabled child. He has Down syndrome, and his development is delayed. You can really tell it by his speech, but not by the fact that he is a cheeky little monster sometimes. You can see these photos here. These are from a photo shoot that we did for I think a yearly event or a twice yearly event, us celebrating 21. What do they call it? T21? There we go. Celebrate T21. Education, advocacy and empowerment for Down syndrome. And if you're finding out news that your child has Down syndrome, like we found out before before birth, not after, this is a good organization to contact for some support because we help participate every year in their calendar. They put out and they give to people who find out they have a Down child. Now, I want to talk about a few more things, but first I need to plug the photographer who did these beautiful photos you see and the one I edited for the thumbnail. You can see here, I mean, we got Abby, we got all of us. Here Eddie's running off. It was all about Eddie for that calendar they put out. And this is the photographer. I need to plug them because they did a brilliant job. You know, Hawthorne Creative. So they're wedding photographers, and I think they just do this on the side as a bit of extra fun, you know, and to get it out there. So I've got no issue with plugging them. We didn't even pay them. We would have paid. But still, I mean, there you go. These are the photos they did. Fantastic. There's a whole lot more, but these are the fun ones. Now, we have, Edward. He's got Down syndrome. We were informed about the potential risk during an initial scan, and then they did a NIPS test, and that put the risk up as well. And as a parent finding out that news, you kind of go through a mourning process. You're terrified, you're scared, you think of all these horrible things that are going to happen. And well, we're living in a society now where people terminate pregnancies for convenience. We could have terminated him right to the day before. We weren't going to. We don't believe in it. We consider it murder. And particularly in the modern world we live in now, having all the challenges associated with T21, it's probably the best time to be born with it compared to the past. And we've been very fortunate. Edward's had very few issues. He's only often have to go to hospital with a lot of health issues. He's been really lucky. He's had no problem eating anything. I'll share you a little story that's happened recently, and I want to get your perspective on this, particularly the parents out there. Now, for those of you that have been following the channel, we like the keto diet. We've fallen off the wagon lately. I can see some of these photos, the kilos are packing on a bit much. But I'll often, I'll add some eat nice cheese. That's something we always spend good money on. We want the extra cheese. Some of our children like cheddar that's older than them, which is funny. But Edward, he's not a big fan on cheese. He doesn't like it at all. He won't eat it. But what he started doing is going to the fridge, because he can figure out how to get in there, build plinths to get the door open, get into the fridge in the little pantry we've got it stashed away in to try and slow him down, which isn't working. He'll get out the cheese, he'll come up, and he'll give it to me. He'll go, point at me, go, you. I go, do you want the cheese? You're never going to eat it. No, you. He wants me to get it, to eat it, to go away and cut it up. Because then what he does is, because in the other house, my computer, I've got a standing desk just off the kitchen. So you know what he wants to do. He puts the plinths up, climbs up to get onto my computer so he can get in to watch his Bluey or get onto his YouTube and watch his Peppa Pig. So he can operate all of that. He can log into computers, use the mice, click on things with a mission. So, do you think he's trying to outsmart me? Trying to get me away there with intention to get access to my computer to watch his bloody shows? So, it's their T21 kids can be notoriously mischievous. And sadly, that doesn't change with their age. So, it's not the end of the world that your fears will present with you at the beginning. And I'd encourage you, if you find out the news, contact that charity, Celebrate 21, talk to people who've had kids like this, because it's not the end of the world. Not by any measure. But we live in a world, because here we go, look, parents ask if they want disabled children removed from class photos. We live in a world now where, people will be outraged. They'll be shocked at that. I mean, how heartbroken would a parent be? But people terminate. There's many, you've got countries that don't even have any disabled children now. We're living in a eugenicist paradise. This is the dream they wanted. And it's kind of sad. It's very sad that we're losing these people. Because that's what they are. They're people. They just have a few extra challenges that they are confronted with. It's not the end of the world. And so when I see something like this, sure, it's heartbreaking for the children and for the parents. It would be horrible to think your child is excluded like that. But, I mean, these are the people that are surrounded by you. They'll happily find out the news, get the tests done pre-pregnancy, and terminate right up until the day to avoid that inconvenience or that stain or that embarrassment. That's the country we live in. And one thing I found, because when I wasn't always a Christian, I converted later in life. And, that's another story. But one thing that I naively found was when I became a Christian, I was shocked that people were voting for politicians that were putting through laws that allowed people to make these individual choices without restriction to kill other people, purely for convenience. I thought, how could that possibly be? We've got over 40% Christian here in Australia and other denominations. What's going on? Well, still want the handouts. Can't have that inconvenience. So let's look at this. Parents have been left devastated after a photography firm offered to remove their disabled children from class photos. Oh, boy. I mean, I remember we had, at high school, there was a special ed unit in the school, and, you'd fight with them, with the special ed kids. I had friends who went through there, and they hated the quality of education they received. One of them actually spoke. He was invited years later down to Canberra to speak to a big gala event with all of these employment providers for disabled people, and he just tore shreds off the education system. But they were in our classes, they went to our school, we mingled, and then years later you're going out with your blind mates on the after uni for drinks, and you realize you're meant to be the one guiding them across the road. We nearly all walk into traffic, so you got to learn these lessons the hard way. So it's sad. 3 children at a Bunny primary school in Scotland were edited out of one of the images sent via an internet link by photography company Tempest. I wonder, because, it's all the diversity inclusion bullshit, DEI rubbish now that's going everywhere. I wonder if they'd do that if it was, maybe you wanted to get rid of certain demographics or groups out of your kids' photos. Could you imagine the outrage over that? This meant parents had the option to order a photo without them in it, leaving families to feel their children had been erased. Well, they literally had been erased from the photographs. This is despite the fact the school had a dedicated additional needs hub. That's... Natalie Pinnell, 38, said her 9-year-old daughter, Erin, who has additional support needs, was removed from the picture. She told Mail Online, "You can't erase them because they're inconvenient. It's just not okay." This is the thing. People do. People do erase them before they're born. All the time. all the time. That's our culture. That's acceptable. It's kind of sad. There used to be a lot more when I was growing up. Remember in the 80s? Particularly Downs kids would be everywhere. In primary school, you'd see them. It's normal. It's devastating to have your child be erased from a photograph or give parents a choice whether she should or should not be included. She's the most beautiful human being who could do this. I'm grateful she's not aware of it because the damage that would do to her self-esteem will be devastating. That is one of the, you need to protect your children from a lot of this bullshit, you know. That's really sad. A girl in a wheelchair from another class was also removed from her photo. Lisa Boyd, whose daughter, Lily Nicholson, has cerebral palsy, was omitted from her photo along with another boy. She said this is clear discrimination and shouldn't happen in school or in anywhere. Well, I know, I agree, this shouldn't happen. But what's the point in getting outraged over a photo when people are killing kids based on genetic tests before they're even born? This is what we have. This is the world we're living in. It is the worst that Lily has been treated in her entire life. The school is so inclusive. Lily is included in everything the school does. Her twin sister, Iona, is in a different class, and I only got one photo for that class, but I got two for Lily's. One without my kid in it. It's horrendous. Oh, I mean, what the hell is the photographer thinking? After Natalie informed the school, they apologized and vowed to never use that company again, with the mum insisting it was never their fault. She said, I queried it with the school, and they queried it with the photographer. He said, yes, that's what we have done. Shit. How stupid could you be? How stupid could you be? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Oh, boy. Oh, that's sad. I really wanted to believe there was a different reason. I was trying to look for a reason why someone would have made that decision. No, it's time you face reality there, honey. Aberdeenshire Council said they've taken the matter up with Tempest Photography. They added the decision to offer images with and without complex needs provision pupils was not made by the school. A spokesman said, we absolutely appreciate the distress and hurt this has caused some parents and carers, and we are sincerely sorry. The issue has been taken up with the photography company directly as it's totally unacceptable. Tempest said recently, after capturing a class group photograph, one of our photographers took additional images of the class group, which omitted some members of the class from the photography. We deeply regret any upset this caused and would like to sincerely apologize to the parents and children affected. We're a family-run business and photography at school across the UK. Would like to reassure our customers this is not standard procedure for our company, and we're taking this matter very seriously. Okay, so they just took some more photos without the special needs kids and gave the option of both. Oh, boy. So, there you go. Let's have a chat about this one, guys. Probably an honest mistake, you'd hope. You'd hope. You know, 2 sets of photos. Maybe the special needs kids had to go to another thing. Or maybe one of them was having a sensory overload and needed to go somewhere else. Or she had cerebral palsy, so probably not. But, you know, that's the world we live in. Maybe we need to make some other changes first. There's a bill going through in Queensland Parliament that I'd like to discuss in another video about babies that are aborted and enshrining into law to ensure that if they accidentally and inconveniently survive, they're given life-saving treatment, not left in a room without any comfort or even touched to die. Well, enjoy your Easter, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next time.